Hey everybody, welcome to Walkthrough Wednesdays, where we ask the same 5 questions about a specific property that we've been through and what happened with it. Let's dive right into it. Question number 1, where was the property located and what kind of property was it? So in this instance, it was located in Brigham City, Utah, which is northern Utah, and it was a single family home. Question number 2, how did we find the property? What marketing channel did we use? And what's interesting about this property is we actually didn't find it with our own marketing. It was listed on the MLS, and we could tell that it was a good opportunity for a flip, so we reached out to the agent. Number 3, the property's condition and the backstory with the property. So like I had mentioned, this property was listed on the MLS, and this was actually our first time ever reaching out to a property that was on market to try and wholesale. We were nervous, we were new, but we knew that there was a lot of people who would do that. There's a lot of people who that's the only thing they do is go after homes that are on market and try to get them to a price where they could wholesale it. We reached out to the agent, and she was nice enough to take us through the property. We went and looked at it, and yeah, we could tell that this would be a good opportunity. We're also not real estate agents, and so the seller was going to be able to save 2.5 to 3% on those commissions. So that created a little bit of buffer as well on our end. Anytime you're working a real estate transaction and you can save on commissions, that's really incentivizing for the seller, and it gives you an advantage as the buyer. When you're new at wholesaling, there's a lot of things you do that you don't do right, and that's just due to your inexperience. Like for us in this instance, we went and looked at it. It looked like a deal. The numbers seemed to be, right there. We were thinking, I believe it was listed at 177, and we were thinking we could get them down to 170, and we could get it to an end buyer at 177 or even 175, make 5,000-7,000 bucks. And after we went and looked at it, we reached out to a buyer that we knew, and he came and looked at it with us. Honestly, everything was looking good until we went into the basement, and I'm going to show you that when I go to these pictures here in a minute. Something that we would do when we were first starting to wholesale is we would only show these properties to like one buyer typically, just because that was what was comfortable, instead of going the full 9 yards and getting it under contract and then sending out to all of our buyers. Not that we had a lot back then, but we had a few. We were just taking the path of least resistance, or the easiest route, and that was go look at it, bring in a buyer, see what they could pay. And that's the reason why we lost out on a handful of deals when we were first starting out. Now that I've given you a little bit of background on the property, let's take a look at the pictures and let's see the actual condition of it. All right, let's take a look at the pictures of this property. These pictures are kind of jumbled up, so we'll just go through it and I'll explain where we're at exactly in the property. So right here, we're in the family room. As you can tell, there's little things like, marks on the wall, scuffs on the wall. You can kind of tell it is not the best condition. So these hardwood floors, you can tell, definitely need some help. Here's a shot from the basement. Shout out to the blue walls. Upstairs, nice blue walls. As you can tell, it looks like at one point there was probably carpet over this and they've taken it out and just haven't upkept the wood floors. Some more bedroom pictures, hallway. Yeah, that looks fantastic. Yep. Here's the kitchen. As you can tell, whoever owned this previously started doing some remodeling, because this is definitely not original. But at the same time, you can tell they just kind of DIY'd it with this Formica, trying to do some sort of little overhang. Just didn't get it high enough, so it wasn't a seamless transition. And shout out to the fireplace in the background. Nice touch. Good kitchen accessory. So now we're in the basement. What was interesting about this basement is the ductwork, and that was the deal killer for the buyer that we had brought with us. Another shot of the kitchen, some floors in one of the bedrooms. Here's the laundry room, unfinished. Another shot of the bedrooms. This is the hallway on the main level. Storage, going down the stairs. Here's the bathroom. So from like 10 yards, this might look good, but when you're up close and personal, you can tell it was pretty gross. Pretty gross. Basement. Another view of the kitchen. Nice fireplace for the kitchen as well. Okay, still in the bathroom. Oh, yeah, no ceiling in the bathroom as well. Furnace, utility room, old electrical panel, going down the stairs. So here was what we would have done is made this the family room. And it had this little bathroom down there with exposed pipes above for the added ambiance. Yeah, this bathroom was teeny. And this was like an accordion door, like right here. Kind of funny. And it just happened to be in the utility room as well. So here's the ductwork I was telling you guys about. And to put it into perspective, most homes in Utah that are built before the 60s, 70s, probably just the 60s, most of the times they weren't planning on using the basements other than storage or, for coal, for older, furnaces and things like that. So when they ran this ductwork, when they built this home, they probably weren't planning on having anyone live down there. So they didn't care about headspace. But I'm 6 feet tall, and all this ductwork I hit my head on every time I walked near it. Bedroom in the basement. What's that? Refresh the night. Nice. Okay. Another shot of the bathroom, a closet, and the last picture right here is of a bedroom as well. You can see these stains on the hardwood, and those are hard to get out. Most of the times it's not worth trying to salvage unless it's a really unique or historic home. So these are the pictures, and this is a general condition that it was in. And let's dive into the next step. Now, from what you could see in the pictures, it definitely needed some work. Now, this wasn't the most terrible property, but it was definitely a flip opportunity. What's funny is this property, a buddy of ours, and he wasn't a buddy of ours at the time, he was the one who was selling it, and he basically said, if I can't get the price that I want, then I'm just going to flip it myself and sell it. Number 4, how did we analyze the deal, underwrite it, running our numbers? Let's talk about it. When we first saw this property on the MLS, it was listed at 177, and from what we could tell, this should have been a property where you could sell it for 250, even 280. And at the time, that just seemed like a lot, which is funny because now people are buying a home like that as is for probably about 250 to 300. So times have changed regardless. But when we were looking at it, we were thinking, okay, 177, if we could get it at 170, we could make $7,000. The flipper could take it over, put probably 30 to 35,000 into it, and sell it around that 250 to 280 mark. And we thought, that seems about right. It seems like a great deal. So the 5th and final question is, what was the outcome? Did we get the deal? Did we not? What actually happened? With this particular property, we didn't get the deal. Now, if we rewind to when I was talking about our inexperience as new wholesalers, this is a perfect example. We didn't reach out to more than one buyer. We would have found out that there are so many buyers who will pay more than other buyers. Like, that's just a fact. That's something that if you're starting in real estate, specifically wholesaling, you need to remember that you're not limited to 1, 2, 3 buyers. There will be buyers, and we call them bully buyers or something like that. We've kind of dubbed it, where there's a handful of buyers that we've met over the years where they're like, here's my offer, take it or leave it. That's it. Sometimes those buyers are good when you're in a different situation where it's just like it needs to happen ASAP. You don't have time to go through the whole process of sending it out to all your buyers, holding a walkthrough, all these things. So sometimes those types of buyers are good, but I would say 9 times out of 10, they're not. So if you ever find yourself in that situation, don't let them boss you around. Find more buyers. It's not hard. There's so many people who want to flip homes. So in this case, the owner, now one of our buddies, he kept it and he flipped it, and sure enough, sold it for 280 or 285. The buyer we brought through, he was like, this isn't going to sell for more than 250. There's no way. That's the absolute height of the market. And this wasn't, like I had mentioned in a couple videos ago, this was in 2019. This was not during the pandemic when interest rates plummeted and everything was selling for $20, $30, $40, $50,000 over list. So the market was steadily going up in value, which it normally does, but it wasn't this crazy spike in value. So our buddy sold it and he made fantastic money. It looks great. He did an awesome job, and he did it in, I think it was like 2.5, 3 months. So relatively quick, and good for him. You know, at least someone made money, right? And that's the thing with real estate, specifically wholesaling, is there are so many times when other people will make money and you don't, and you can't focus on that. We celebrate everybody's wins around us. I feel like real estate is, for the most part, it's like one big family, one big community. And whenever someone wins and you don't fall into that trap of, woe is me, and, life sucks or whatever it might be, and or why didn't that happen, or why did they get it and we didn't. There's always more deals. That's the thing, is there's an abundance of deals out there. So don't get too caught up on the ones you don't get, and don't overlook the ones you do get. Sometimes if they're small deals, those are still wins. So anyways, with this property, didn't make any money. A buddy of ours made money, so good for him. We're stoked for him. And we learned a lot. Like, we're not just going to be showing all the good deals. We're showing all the bad deals in these Walkthrough Wednesdays, because we want you guys to see the real ins and outs of real estate, specifically wholesaling. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. That's a great way to show us that you like the video. We try to put a lot of effort into these to bring you guys quality content. We hope you enjoyed. Feel free to drop a comment below if there's anything specifically you want to see within a property, or something specifically you want us to dive into about a property or how we handle the situation. Be happy to do that. We're excited to keep doing this Walkthrough Wednesdays every single Wednesday. So stay tuned for next week. We'll see you next time.